Hello people, and welcome to Eagle Leather Trading Co. I am Michael Eagle. This is
the Leather Revolution.
Remember, if you like it, you should share it. If you make it, you can wear it. What's the origin of the old hickory knife?
Here's something I found on the web. According to SaffordTrading.com, first introduced in 1924, the old hickory knives are the most venerable product line still in active production.
Still in active production. Did the Europeans trade old hickory knives to the Native Americans?
Here's something I found on the web. According to RevolutionaryWarJournal.com, these knives were moderately priced and large quantities could be shipped overseas, which became ideal for trading with the Native Americans.
Alright, I just sprayed this leather down and then kind of wet molded it over this large old hickory. I folded it and then I just kind of trimmed it to kind of fit. I really wanted more of a native look, and this was the folded edge, so I just cut that off. And now I want to put fringe on it, and I want the shiny side up, which means when I open it, I'll lay it down this way. And we will glue this in, and then I'll punch it and lace it around the fringe like this. This is rawhide. You've seen it before if you've seen my other videos. This is a replica from Last of the Mohicans, kind of. And it's actually a flint spearhead and then an antler. Hear how rough? And so I just punched this rawhide while it was still wet, and then I laced it with an X pattern, kind of, in some places, with double fringe, and then through the fringe and back through. And again, this is just folded over. And this back panel, I just went on up and folded it back down too. So kind of like this just for the lacing, but I'm doing both sides because I want fringe on both sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down, and then on the bend it's going to gather. So I'm going to just like cut a little V right there and then bend it again to go back up the other side instead of cutting it, so that I have lace all the way around, and then we'll just take it on up. And since we're lacing through the fringe, I'm going to get most of this extra material here before the fringe up in there and kind of use that as the welt. So right where the fringe starts is where we're going to glue it down. Trim that one gently. I want to cut through my sheath. Okay, I separated these, but I didn't separate all the way up because that's going to be the part on the back that folds up or folds under or over for the belt loop. So let's go ahead and cut that straight up. And then this one will get cleaned off just above the handle, right around in there, I think. Or we also may fold it down and fringe that. So let's go on up a little bit. Bam. A little bit far out right there. That's okay. The thread hopefully will like cinch that up. Cinch. or know what a cinch is on a saddle. Actually, I did grow up with a Palomino. Now we can glue this side down. And just like I mentioned, snip this off. Wait. I actually use the artificial sinew, which the natives used to use. It came off of like the Achilles heel of a deer or a buffalo or whatever. All right, we'll glue both sides, and then they would dry it, and then they would chew it and shred it, or like it would strand. And this is from Tandy. This is the artificial sinew, which is like a thread, but I'm not chewing on it. All right, you don't have to watch me glue. You can kind of, this is soft enough you can kind of feel where the edge is just past the glue line on this side, and it's really even with it on that side. So we'll try to go for this tip. Oh, somebody wants to play with the ball. And this corner up here. Bam. Kind of buckle that up a little bit. Give it a little extra space in there. Since this is like a handmade, native, replica kind of thing, we're just eyeballing it. Alright, took it up to put the knife in there up to where the handle starts, fold it over, hit it with the spray bottle. Just kind of wet mold that a little bit, give it a little shape, and then I'm going to fringe this real quick. And since it was at an angle a little bit, it actually shows up as more of an angle down there, which is awesome. Just to give it a little form. Let's fold this back, lay this out, and we're just going with a rough fringe. It looks like we may have to kind of angle it. I actually want a wide belt loop, but I've also found that taking it down too close brings it up too high, and it stabs you in the stomach when you sit down or ride. So the last one I actually ended up having to extend it up a little bit. So we're going to come on up, and since I want a wide belt loop, I think I'll like cut it from here and kind of taper it in just a little, and then bring it back out. What do you say? One, two, three, four, and one to grow on. I'm not going to saddle stitch. I have to roll it around, but I will still use a needle. Yeah, this is going to be a lace thing. So we'll like let it hang down. We'll come back up in between a couple of fringe. And then we'll send it back through there. Yes, this is crazy stitching. And then I threw a couple of double caps up here to make the loop on the back. And now I am sanding this because I'm going to glue it just to give it another little element of support, the tension on the belt. Is it super glued? Well, let's make sure. There's a big knot right there. Let's throw a little glue on it. All right, let's take our tool out of there. You know how it goes. Push it down, hammer it. All right, let's throw a little dye on here. I'm just going to open up this old canister I'm using, and this was the diluted dark brown, but with like a ton of alcohol in it to make it as light as possible. And I was going to put more alcohol in there to dilute it some more, but then I decided to kind of just leave it as it is and see if we can like get a lighter instead of re-wetting it. Let's try to get some of this off of here. You can see it's still pretty wet. The inside of this piece of scrap will really soak that up. Let's see what it does on the flesh side. Just want a little bit on the edges over here by the stitching. Ah, it's still dark. And of course it will age, but if we don't get something on here, it'll stay light, especially if you treat it. I don't want much. Look, it got a little on that little raised area, which is what I was mentioning, I think, earlier in the video. There we go. It's a little bit darker on the edge. Really just want kind of a natural color. I don't want it to look dyed. This is really making me want to make another buckskin, rawhide buckskin. Put a little on this. They're going to leave it alone. There's a saddle maker. A lot of people use neat's foot oil, but he says he cooks with olive oil and it works good on his saddles. So for him it's a win-win when he buys those like 5-gallon buckets. And this is how you normally condition a leather that's not sealed or saddle-lacked. When you have an old holster or an old knife sheath, just put a little olive oil on it. Look at that. Of course, it'll be lighter when it dries. A lot of people will use saddle soap. Nice look. I'll keep a little oil on these knives. I mean, there's like metal and they will rust. This one I actually put a little dye on the handle. Huge mistake. Covered up the old Hickory. Should have left it alone like the other one. Little olive oil on there. Keep that from rusting. Man, that was an easy build. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys, here at Eagle Leather Trading Co. I am Michael Eagle. This is the Leather Revolution.